Hi everyone, this is Mr Neel Raithatha, also known as the Wax Whisperer. Thank you for joining me in my latest video. This is of a patient who attended reporting a blocked left ear, and they had noticed that their left ear has been blocked for a while, you could say, and they've just decided to put it off until at the weekend. They were at a beauty spot in Leicestershire called Rutland Waters. It's very scenic and there's a lake, and she was there with, I'm sure she won't mind me telling the story because she said it was okay when I was just chatting with her today. To prove her age to her children, she wanted to show them that she's young at heart, and her and a friend who was there with her decided to jump into the lake, and she soon regretted it because water got trapped in the left ear, and it not only caused the wax plug to expand and because it absorbs the water, but it was very likely that some water got trapped in behind the wax. Now, you can tell by this wax plug it's really, really stubborn. It was rock solid as well. And where I'm working now, you can see the ear canal slightly inflamed. So the ear canal somewhat, there's what we call edema, it's swelling there. And what that swelling has done is it's kind of gripped, if you like, onto the wax. It's engulfed itself. So this ear canal's trapped this wax, and I kind of explained to the patient, because other patients have explained to me in the past or female patients have explained to me in the past that when the wax is really like this, it feels like it's almost not as bad, I'm sure, but it's like they're giving birth. They feel this plug coming out, and it's almost as I'm acting like the midwife. And we had a good giggle when we were chatting with the patient, and which always helps because the patient was in pain. We were trying to just keep her at ease and just make sure she's relaxed. And it was quite difficult now. Unfortunately, there wasn't really an opening at the top or on the side for me to insert an ear hook and get in behind, and it was really uncomfortable deep in there. So what I decided to do is just dose this ear with loads of olive oil, and it did somewhat lubricate it, and I have managed to bring this forwards a bit, but it's just too big a plug, and it is really impacted. So eventually, I removed this using forceps. But at the moment, there's no way that I can use forceps because there's nothing for me to grip onto. When you use forceps, there must be something protruding outwards so the jaws can get in and behind. Now, you can see on the right-hand side there's potentially a bit now because I've loosened it off the posterior canal wall. We can grip onto that where I am now. And I'm just lifting this up, and you can see it goes all the way to the eardrum, that does. You can see the length of that. And at this stage, I was thinking, I'm going to be able to get this out because I've manipulated it, I've rotated it. So I decided just to continue with the suction for a while. Now, in a way, when I use forceps, I'm going to have to bring this back down eventually because, again, as it is at the moment, there's nothing for me to grip onto. And you can see it just looks like a cigar. And I'm just teasing it away. You can see if you look on the right-hand side, it's kind of trying to come out. The problem with this is the consistency of the wax. It is still very hard. And when it's hard like this, it can be quite difficult to get a suction grip. And in retrospect, watching it back, maybe that was a good time for me to use the forceps now, because there is something for me to grab onto. But at this point, it felt as though the wax plug was coming out. So when you're doing the procedure, you get kind of like you're not always right, but you get a feeling, this is coming out. Let me just therefore continue. And I felt at one stage this was almost out when I had it rotated like this. It is even now coming forward, so I'm thinking, yep, eureka, we're almost there. So let's just persevere. But it kind of got trapped again. So it got trapped, and you can see, because it's quite hard there, I actually inadvertently, in an attempt to suction this bit, You can see it's going back. It's almost being pushed backwards. So I'm having to just bring this back out forwards again. And I think now I've decided just to bring this back in position to see if I can use forceps. So I think I'll just put a bit more oil in. So I'm just going back here. I'm just going to position it back down. And again, even at this point, I think brilliant, it's going to come out. I feel like I've got a good suction grip here. And it is slowly coming away. You can see it's going further and further out of the ear. But in the end, I think it's at this stage potentially. I'm going to revert to the forceps. So it's almost, that's the second bend you can see there. So I've got it past the second bend. So we've kind of lined it up so it's all, I've got an equal space either side now because it is quite a narrow ear. Now I wasn't actually feeling as though with the forceps it was going to come out because it was such a huge plug and I didn't think I would get a strong enough grip, but fortunately I was able just to pull it out. That's the patient. So you can see all the swelling around the edge, the redness, and that was what was keeping the wax plug in. It was engulfed around the plug. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video, guys, and you're all keeping well. In the UK, we're experiencing a bit of a heat wave, so anyone who's watching the UK or anywhere else in the world, do take care of yourselves. I think they've got a weather warning this weekend in the UK, so do keep dehydrated. Keep well, speak soon, bye.